I don't know about you, but I spent most of my time at a plate, at the refrigerator, at the couch, just thinking I've got to stop eating. I wonder if there's more. And then at the airport, back and forth at the airport. That was my only exercise, was walking to the car.
Here was I was so into food that it didn't make it from the counter to the table. I just stood there at the counter and just kept shoveling it in my mouth.
Me too. Now, I will say that if you used a plate, I still win.
Only occasionally did a plate enter the equation.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Usually my wife will say, stop.
I know. Mine too. Yeah.
She didn't this year.
Yeah, mine did. So
yours did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Tragically, last night, she's like, okay, I think you've had enough.
No, my wife said that last night. I mean, the rest of the weekend, she didn't say that. My wife did something much more subtle. She's much more clever, I think. Or you guys have just been married longer, so you're much more honest. My wife said, this is it for me. I have got to lose some weight. Here she is, rail thin. I have got to lose some weight.
And then you should have said, yes, you should.
And I said, I'm glad somebody said it.
It is your responsibility to stay sexy for me.
You gain another pound and you're out.
But pass me the potatoes, please. Why don't I just finish what's on your plate?
It was ugly. Yeah. It was ugly. Then yesterday, because my daughter was in town and they're moving to Texas, which I don't know if I've mentioned, you should consider moving to Oklahoma. She was looking for a house, and she asked me if I would go with her, so she did, and I had been sending her the crime rates of all the places that she thought had cute little old houses. And I'm like, yeah. And you've heard about the stabbings that have been happening there? And for some reason, she just doesn't want to live in the suburbs. Dad, I am not going to live in the suburbs with, like, you. And I'm like, there's a great house right next door. You move right in. I'll help you. No.
There's also other suburbs in which you don't live.
No, she sees all suburbs as the place that
like old white people live.
Where Dad lives. I try to point out to her she's going to be old and white one day, and she's like, not in this lifetime. Like, yes, actually, unless you move to the neighborhoods where you're thinking about moving, then you won't be old. So anyway, we went and so I went with her, and she made me go with her when she was apartment shopping in New York, and she's got to live on her salary, not mine. And so, whatever you can afford. And I went to a couple of places in New York with her that I've had refrigerators larger than the apartments that she was looking at, and I don't believe there were serial killers in the crisper drawer like there were serial killers in her crisper drawer. And so this time we went to Dallas, and I thought, okay, well, it won't be just as bad as New York. So we go, and she's looking at some houses that I swear to you, she found one house that was really, really cute and she liked, and I said, hey, look out the window, because I think you're looking into the bedroom of a serial killer right next door.
Just corpses hanging in the living room? How did you detect that? Exactly.
And just dads know these things.
All right.
Dads know these things. And I was happy to convince her of that. And my apologies to the people who own the house, because it's a delightful little house, but I think there's a serial killer next door to you. I'm just saying. Just saying. Call your dad. He will tell you. Anyway, so I'm in this house, and as soon as I walk into this one
Isn't this another house?
Oh, yeah, this is a completely other house.
Right, okay. Yeah.
It's a completely new house.
Yeah.
Different house. So I'm walking into this house, and there's a Roku box on the TV.
Roku is how, by the way, you can pick up
the Blaze.
The Blaze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were going to say
if you're not
TV.
on, yeah. But if you're not, if you don't have Dish, you can get it on Roku.
Yeah. So so they have Roku, and I'm like, they have Roku. That's good for Roku. And then I go upstairs, and we're looking at the windows that do not look into the house of a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they
good.
Definitely don't.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim, my new son-in-law, said, "Look at the books." And so I started looking at all the books that they have, and it's like Ann Coulter and Michelle Malkin and I think Andrew Napolitano is in there. So all these, I'm like, this is great. I love these people. How much is this house? We should pay more for this house. That's definitely not a serial killer's house. and so I'm looking through the books, and then they have all of mine. And so I think, okay, well, they must be fans because they have the Roku, and guys, I don't know anybody who has Roku except that, is a fan. And so, and then they have all of the books. So I took all the books out of their shelves, and I took them because they had my name on them.
Okay.
Who the hell are you? Why'd you take my books? My name is on it. You're the serial killer. So I took the books out and I signed them all. And I just said, thanks for reading, blah, 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 Glenn Beck. And as I was leaving, my daughter looks at those and she said, "What did you do?" And I said, I signed all of the books. And she said, "Dad, nobody can read your writing. What the hell are they? They're going to think somebody came into their house, took all of their books,
Pretended to be you and just signed them.
You know what my writing is like." She's like, "You can't read that. They won't even know. You didn't even know, like, hey, I'm Glenn Beck. I was in your house." And I'm like, what do you think? Somebody's going to break into somebody's house, take all of their Glenn Beck books out, sign them, and leave them on the kitchen counter?
That would be a funny prank.
That would be a bizarre crime.
Now, does the real estate agent know who you are?
No, because it wasn't their real estate agent.
Oh,
and these people just I guess
so they're going to be really confused.
They're going to be really confused. So if that happens to be you, you've done wonderful things to your house. My daughter loved the house. I was a little concerned about the serial killer, and I wanted her to live closer to me. So I convinced her that person living next door to you may kill her family, but not yours.
So you're just lying to your daughter to get her to move closer to you.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know it. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I said it fairly clearly.
Yeah, I can't hear you at all. So that's what I did with my weekend. I ate. I lied to my family, and
signed a bunch of books that didn't belong to you.
Books. Well, they do belong to me. They have my name on it.
I think when they pay the money, the way the capitalist system works, now they're...
Capitalist, that's old thinking.
Well, that's
Those
true.
days are gone.
That is unfortunately true.
Those days are gone. So we're going...